Hey guys, DBWhatIfs. Back again with part 3 of What If. Dr. Gero's Android one wasn't a failure. Last time we left off with a lot of moving pieces. Chi-Chi's father, the Ox King, is deceased. He was slain by Android 1 under commands from Colonel Silver. Dr. Gero is now aware of Goku's existence and the threat he poses. Colonel Silver is chasing after Pilaf, and Goku is over at Master Roshi's house. Enough recapping though, let's get right into it. Master Roshi looked over at Chi-Chi crying profusely as Goku filled Master Roshi in on what had transpired. Master Roshi then asked, "A small brown creature?" Goku nodded with a stern expression and said, "Yeah. He had these strings coming out of his neck though. His head just fell right off after a quick chop." Master Roshi scratched at his chin and asked, "So, do you need my help?" Goku paused for a moment, looking back at Chi-Chi before saying, "Well, do you think you could protect Chi-Chi? Just until I find out who sent that weird guy after Chi-Chi." Master Roshi nodded sympathetically and said, Sure, but I think from the sound of it, he was a robot Goku. Machines, built by man. They have no hearts, therefore they do not feel. Be careful, Goku. Whoever made those machines, they have no respect for life and wish to tamper with it. Now, are you sure you don't want me to call Krillin out here to help you?" Goku nodded and said, "I need to do this alone. I can't afford to lose anyone else." Before hopping on his flying Nimbus and taking off, Goku, now high in the air above the ocean, checked the Dragon radar and said, "If that robot guy was there, maybe he was after the Dragon Ball. If I go to the Dragon Ball, maybe I'll find that guy who made the robot." Goku zoomed off on his Nimbus towards the Dragon Ball. Goku looked down at the Dragon radar and scratched his head. Which one was it again? I think it was this one." Goku then heads off towards the Dragon Ball closest to him. Colonel Silver had successfully taken the Dragon Ball from the Pilaf gang and was now searching for the next Dragon Ball in a forest-like area. Goku then lands in the forest and sees two Red Ribbon Army soldiers walking by. Goku walks past them as the two ask, "Hey, what are you doing here? Who are you?" Goku is too deep in thought and doesn't hear the men, but he looks over at a tree, climbs it, and quickly finds the Dragon Ball. The two men are shocked at how fast Goku found the ball. The men then yelled out, "Hey, that's the Dragon Ball." Goku said, "Yeah, it's not my grandpa's ball though." One of the men then says, "Hey, give us that ball, kid, or else." Goku stuck his tongue out at the man and said, "Why do you guys want it?" The man then points his weapon at Goku, but Goku quickly kicked both of the men away before shouting, "Flying Nimbus!" and hopping on his cloud. One of the men stood up, grabbed his radio and said, "Colonel Silver, a boy riding a yellow cloud. He took the Dragon Ball. He's getting away." Colonel Silver put down the radio and left his camp. Colonel Silver looked up at the sky and saw Goku riding his cloud. Colonel Silver quickly grabbed his rocket launcher and fired at Goku. The Nimbus turned into a puff of smoke, and Goku began to fall. Goku landed on his feet and was now face to face with Colonel Silver. Goku angrily shouted out, "You destroyed Nimbus! Who are you?" Colonel Silver said, "Colonel Silver, I believe you have something that belongs to me." Goku angrily grit his teeth and said, "There's no way I'd have something that belongs to the likes of you. You destroyed Nimbus." Colonel Silver clicks his tongue and runs over and manages to take Goku's bag that he was carrying from Goku. Goku, surprised, looked down and realized his bag had been snatched. Goku shouted out, "Hey!" Colonel Silver simply laughed before Goku managed to achieve the same feat and took back his belongings from Silver with lightning speed. Colonel Silver looked astonished before smiling and saying, "So you're not an ordinary kid after all, huh?" Colonel Silver then took off his shirt, readying for a fight. Goku put his bag down and got into a fighting stance. Colonel Silver charged at Goku and swung with speed and precision, only for Goku to slightly tilt his head to avoid the punch and deliver a swift punch to Colonel Silver's stomach, causing Colonel Silver to fall backwards for a short moment before slowly steadying himself once more. Colonel Silver coughed out, "You really are strong." Suddenly, 5 Android ones approached and stopped next to Colonel Silver. Colonel Silver was surprised to see more androids, but happily said, "Take care of this kid for me, and take that Dragon Ball." The androids said in unison, affirmative. Goku got back into a proper fighting position as the 5 androids rushed at Goku. Goku was dodging punches from the androids, getting hit by some, dodging the others. 2 androids stepped back while 3 were still engaged in combat with Goku and began to shoot flames at Goku. Goku jumped up in the air to avoid the flames and said to himself, "How am I supposed to handle a 5v1? One was tricky enough." Goku then thought of an idea. He threw his hands back and shouted, "Kamehameha!" A blue beam flew out, striking 3 of the androids, causing the 3 to explode. The 2 on the ground looked up at Goku as he was beginning his descent. Goku's stomach began to growl, but Goku landed next to the androids as one tried grabbing Goku. Goku kicked the android away, causing him to fall over, and then punched the other android one in the head. The android on the ground picked himself up before pointing his knuckles at Goku. Goku yelled out, "Not this trick again." Before Android 1 could fire, Goku grabs his power pole and yells out, "Power pole extend!" His pole extends and pierces through Android 1's headgear. The affected Android 1 said, "Structural damage taken. Ceasefire." Android 1 then fell over and didn't move. The last Android 1 opened its mouth and fired a missile at the distracted Goku, hitting Goku. Goku screamed out in pain but quickly recovered. Goku growled before asking, "Who do you work for?" Android 1 responded in monotone, "I serve the Red Ribbon Army." Colonel Silver then walks back up to the 2 and yells out, "Android 1, finish the kid off and take his Dragon Ball." Android 1 said affirmative. Android 1 fired another missile. Goku dodged it and then charged at Android 1, headbutting Android 1's stomach. Android 1 seemed unfazed as Goku shouted out, "Ow, ow, ow, that hurts." Goku falls onto the ground as Colonel Silver laughed and said, "He's made of metal, you dolt." Android 1 then slowly approached Goku once more. Goku's stomach rumbled again. Goku mumbled out, "Hungry." Android 1 was about to stomp on Goku, but Goku shouted out, "Power pole, extend." Once more against the ground this time, causing Goku's body to be pushed to safety. Goku slowly pushed himself off the ground. He looked a little dizzy, but he got back into his fighting pose and said, "Doesn't matter what you're made of, I will beat you." Colonel Silver laughed once more and said, "Surely you knew that he was metal with all the punches and kicks. Why did you use your head? Or should I say lack thereof?" Ha ha ha. Goku didn't let the comments faze him. Goku readied his hands once more and yelled out, "Kamehameha!" A smaller blue beam flew from Goku's hands and straight through Android 1, narrowly avoiding Colonel Silver. Android 1 fell over, and Colonel Silver clenched his teeth before saying, "Robots were hunks of junk. I wanted to finish you off myself anyway." Goku fell over onto the ground. Colonel Silver slowly approaches Goku with a wicked grin. Goku grips his power pole tightly. Colonel Silver then said, "Nope, no more tricks," as he stepped on Goku's power pole, preventing it from being moved. Goku, using the last bit of his strength, pushes himself off the ground once more and headbutts Colonel Silver in the jaw. Colonel Silver grunts. Before the whites of his eyes appear, and he passes out. Goku crawls over to Colonel Silver's base and finds a dino capsule container and throws out the first one he sees. A robot appears. Goku panicked for a moment, still on the ground. The robot then said, "How may I assist you?" Goku then said, I need to get out of here." The robot then said, "Then go on and get out of here." Goku said, I can barely move." The robot, showing no emotion, simply said, "Use the third capsule in the capsule pack." Goku looked back at the pack and slowly picked up the third one and threw it. Out popped a Red Ribbon Army plane. Goku said weakly, "That's a plane. I don't know how to use one of those." The robot said, "I am programmed to pilot if you'd like." Goku smiled and said, "Yes, please," before passing out. The robot put Goku in the plane and began to fly off in a random direction. Back at the Red Ribbon Army headquarters, Dr. Gero had an Android 1 streaming the whole confrontation until the final visual ends with Goku crawling to Colonel Silver's hut. Dr. Gero scoffed and said, "That's 8 androids down." "Are you kidding me?" A Red Ribbon Army soldier spoke up and said, "Sir, I think we should send out more android ones to handle this kid. He's dangerous." Dr. Gero walks over and grabs the man by his neck, choking him. Dr. Gero then says, "And lose more androids? How stupid are you? I've got just the thing for him. I've had this in the pocket for a few years now. We'll just wait for the kid to make himself known again and send Android 2 after him." The soldier's eyes widened as he was still being choked. Dr. Gero tossed the man aside, leaving the man gasping for breath. Dr. Gero demanded, "Open up case 104. The man, coughing, says, "Yes, sir." The soldier walks over to a lever and pulls it. A light puff of smoke arises from the cylindrical chamber before a tall silver robot with long metallic horns walks out and says, "Good evening, doctor. How may I assist you?" Dr. Gero then said, "Be on standby. Do test runs to ensure you're combat ready. Bring these as well." Dr. Gero hands Android 2 6 Dino capsules. Dr. Gero continued, "Some backup never hurts, haha." Android 2 absorbs the capsules into itself almost like a gelatin. And that is where I will be leaving off on it for right now. Now, obviously, if Android 1 was a success, Android 2 ought to be a success as well. The doctor is on fire with his creations. He's had Android 2 tucked away for a few years, allegedly. But is that enough to stop Goku? We'll find out next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment what you'd like to see next. I'd love to hear from you guys. Catch you on the next one.